Children, how are you all? Hope you all are fine and doing well. My name is Naresh. Welcome to our channel Physics Plaza. Children, today lecture number 2 on galvanometry. Before getting to the topic, children, what we have learned in the previous class, let us recall. In the previous class, we discussed heat and the units of heat. Then we discussed temperature. It's very important, children. Heat can flow from body of higher temperature to body of lower temperature. Then we discuss the units of temperature and how the units of temperatures are converted from one scale to another scale. In today's session, we are going to discuss the factors affecting the amount of heat. After that, we will discuss thermal capacity. Then we will discuss specific heat capacity. So, let us start factors affecting the amount of heat with a small example. Children, here let us consider copper, same amount of copper and water. For suppose it is 500 grams only and here also 500 grams only, but thing is that it is made up of with copper and here is water. Let us say it is a water, same amount of copper and water. Let us take then initial temperature of copper and water. Let us suppose both are at the same temperature initially. Let us suppose both are at a same temperature, and in order to raise the temperature of these two blocks by same amount, I mean from 30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. So we need to provide some amount of heat. Let us say Q1 is the heat supplied or heat absorbed by the copper to show the rise in temperature from 30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, whereas here Q2 is the amount of heat absorbed by the 500 grams of water to show the rise in temperature from 30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, which means what, children? The rise in temperature is same, 50 minus 30, 50 minus 30. It will be 20 degrees Celsius only. But it is noticed that the amount of heat absorbed by the water is very much greater than that of the amount of heat absorbed by the copper. Means almost water can absorb same amount of water to show the same rise in temperature can absorb 10 times more, actually 10 times. The heat is absorbed almost 10 times more than that of the copper of same mass and which is showing actually same rise in temperature. Which means what? The amount of heat absorbed, though mass is same, rise in temperature. So why it is different? Because the amount of heat absorbed depends on nature of the material. Children, let us write first point, factors affecting the amount of heat. First one is nature of the material. Nature of the material. Here now you may get one doubt, sir. What happens if we take the two bodies with the same nature? It's a really good idea. Let us try that actually. Children, now let us consider the two bodies with the same nature. Let us take here two identical beakers. Let us name it as a beaker A and beaker B. And in both beakers, let us take some amount of heat. Some amount of water, but at different masses here. So here let us consider here, for example, it is 500 grams of water and here it is 200 grams of water. Children, now initially let us say both are at the same temperature. I mean it is at 5 degrees Celsius, it is at a 5 degrees Celsius only. Now in order to raise the temperature of the waters in two different beakers by same amount, I mean from 5 degrees Celsius to I want to increase to 45 degrees Celsius. Here also want to raise 5 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius, which means what? Rise in temperature is same, that is 40 degrees Celsius. Rise in temperature is same. So in order to raise the temperature by same amount, some heat must be supplied. That is, water will absorb heat to raise the temperature from 5 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees. Here also 5 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees. Let us suppose here it is Q1, the amount of heat supplied, and let us say here Q2 is the amount of heat supplied. But children, just you think, it's a minimum common sense it is. Just you think here, in which case actually water will take more time to reach from 5 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees? Come on, you tell. Of course, it is the water taken in beaker A only. Why? What is the reason? Because here we have taken more amount of water. Means as we have taken a more amount of water, it will take a more time. Actually, in fact, here 45 degrees Celsius temperature is reached very easily. But whereas here in a beaker A case only, it will take a more time. Children, as it is taking more time means what? We are supplying the heat more time. We are supplying that heat more time. Which means what? We are supplying more heat. Means more heat is absorbed in a beaker A case than compared with a beaker B case. The reason is that though nature of the material might be same and the rise in temperature might be same, but both are different in mass. Let us suppose here, means here 500 grams of mass is there. So more the mass, more the heat is absorbed. Less the mass, less the heat is absorbed. Which means what? The amount of heat is also depending on even the mass of the substance. Though nature might be same, children, it's very important. If you take different amount of matter with the same nature, then definitely they are absorbing the heat in a different manner. Now with this we can say that here more the mass, more the heat is absorbed. Less the mass, less the heat is absorbed. So the second factor on which actually the amount of heat absorbed is that mass of the material. Mass of the material. Mass of the material. How is it related, dear children? The amount of heat is directly proportional to the mass. Let us say it is equation 1. Let us say it is a equation 1. Now let us see, children, are there any factors still on which heat absorbed depend? So with this example we will get a more clarity. Let us consider again two beakers, two identical beakers. Let us say two identical beakers in which now same amount of water is taken. Same amount of water is taken. For suppose here it is 500 grams of water and here it is 500 grams of water. So don't forget that in this beaker also, here beaker B also water is taken, in a beaker A also water is taken. Children, this time nature of the material is same. Excellent. And the mass of the substance, mass of the material also same. Let us consider, let us suppose here initially these both waters are at a 5 degrees, same temperature, let us say, same temperature. But now we are going to supply the heat and we will check actually. So which one will attain more more rise in temperature or less rise in temperature. For suppose we want to raise the temperature of the water which is in beaker A from 5 degrees Celsius to, for suppose, 55 degrees Celsius. Whereas in the second case, we want to raise the temperature from 5 degrees Celsius to, for suppose, 15 degrees Celsius rise in temperature. So this time the rise in temperature is different. The rise in temperature is different. So here what is the change in temperature, dear children? Let us say in a beaker A case, it is change in temperature will be what is that? 55 minus 5. 55 minus 5. So that is, let us say it will be 50 degrees Celsius. And here it is what? Delta TB is equal to, it is 50 minus 5. So it will be 10 degrees Celsius. Actually, in order to raise the temperature of the water either from 5 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees or 5 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees, some amount of heat must be supplied. Let us say Q1 is the amount of heat supplied to raise the temperature from 5 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius, whereas Q2 is the amount of heat absorbed, so that the temperature of water is raised from 5 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius. 15 degrees Celsius. The children, in which case it will take a more time? In which case it will take a more time to reach desired temperature? Of course, it is water which is taken a beaker A. But children, by this time the nature is same and the amount of matter also same, right? But difference is what? Rise in temperature is different. Means in this first case, the water will take more time to reach 55 degrees Celsius. As it is taking more time means what? More time we are supplying the heat. Rather we can say more time heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed. So hence we can say that the amount of heat absorbed is more in a beaker A case than that of the beaker B case. So more the rise in temperature, more the heat is absorbed. Less the rise in temperature, less the heat is absorbed. So here I can say that here Q1 is greater than Q2. The reason is that here delta TA is greater than delta TB. Means the amount of heat is depending on the amount of heat absorbed depending on change in temperature. Depending on change in temperature. How does it depend? The amount of heat absorbed is directly proportional to the change in temperature. Change in temperature. Children, from these two equations, what can we write? We can write like this. Q is proportional to the M into delta T. Children, as there is a proportional symbol here, it can be replaced by a constant, proportional constant. So here Q is equal to C into M delta T. Children, it's a very important formula which we got for a Q. So what is the purpose of this actually formula? Q is equal to Cm delta T. So before going to learn that actually, let us see what are the terms involved in it. Children, here Q is the amount of heat absorbed or rejected, and M is a mass of the material, and delta T is a change in temperature. When Q will be heat absorbed, then delta T will be rise in temperature. If Q is heat rejected, then delta T will be fall in temperature. Then what about C here? Children, here C is called specific heat capacity. Children, it's a very important. C is called actually here specific heat capacity. What is the specialty of specific heat capacity? Specific heat capacity depends only on the nature of the material. Nature of the material means its value is same when you take a 10 grams of water, 100 grams of water, 1000 grams of water. The nature. So here very important. Specific heat capacity depends on only nature of the material. It does not depend on mass of the substance. Anyhow, about this specific heat capacity afterwards we'll discuss in detail. Now what is the purpose of Q? Here I asked. Children, by using Q is equal to Cm delta T, we calculate the amount of heat absorbed or amount of heat rejected when C value, M value, delta T value is given. C value, M value, delta T value is given. Then obviously what we will do, we can calculate the heat amount of heat absorbed or rejected. But here one condition is there. What is that condition? This formula is used only when there is a, please write down date, children, please, it's very important. Only when there is a change in temperature. Then here you may get one doubt. Sir, do we have any other like a situation where we can calculate the heat but there won't be any change in temperature? Children, let me give you one example. For suppose here 100 grams of ice at 0 degrees Celsius it is there. So here the ice absorbs some amount of heat. We are supplying some amount of heat. Some amount of heat is supplied. So that the 100 grams of ice which is at 0 degrees Celsius start melting and completely will get converted into again 100 grams of water, but still it is at 0 degrees Celsius only. Then in this case, what is the amount of heat absorbed actually? What is the amount of heat absorbed? Children, can we use this formula now? You might be knowing, for example, specific capacity of ice is given, specific capacity of water is given, but there is no delta T, so we cannot apply this formula. It's a very important. Of course, regarding this, anyhow, next session we will be discussing. But you have to remember it's a very important, children here. So Q is equal to Cm delta T. This formula we use to calculate the amount of heat absorbed or amount of heat rejected. But the condition is that only when there is a change in temperature. So here there is no change in temperature, children. Here there is a change in state. So in this case, we cannot use this formula to calculate the amount of heat absorbed or rejected. Children, hope I am very much clear. Please copy it. Yes. Okay, sir. ये तो clear है. It's clear. But what is next? What are we going to learn? Yes, children. Yes, children. Yes. Children, for suppose next we'll be discussing thermal capacity. Next we'll be discussing. Please write down. Please put heading thermal capacity. Thermal capacity. Capacity. Thermal capacity, or children, it is also called as heat capacity. It is also called as heat capacity. It is also called as heat capacity. We will represent with letter C dash. We will represent letter with the C dash. For suppose children, here let us take material. It is a material A and here is material B. Okay, both are 500 grams only, means same amount of, as like in the previous case, it might be copper, it might be water, H2O, hydrogen monoxide, let us say. And we discussed and we have learned, and it is proved experimentally that, so in order to raise the temperature of different materials with the same mass by same amount of raise in temperature, then definitely these both will absorb different amounts of heat, it's okay. And for suppose here is copper, let us say here is a copper, like 50 grams of copper, and here is 500 grams of copper. Children, now in order to raise a temperature by same amount, if delta T is same and it is a copper only, do you think that both bodies will absorb the same amount of heat? Of course no here. So this block D will absorb more heat than that of the block C actually. Children, the property of the substance which can explain about these two situations only we can call it as actually thermal capacity. So thermal capacity will give you the information about the amount of heat absorbed by the different substances. It might be same nature or different nature. Let us see what actually thermal capacity and what actually heat capacity is. Children, here let us take some material is taken. Initially it is at some 10 degrees Celsius. In order to raise the temperature of this whole material from 10 degrees Celsius to 11 degrees Celsius, some amount of heat is required. So let us say Q is the amount of heat is required. This amount of heat required only we can call it as a thermal capacity or heat capacity. Let me make it clear. Children, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of whole body. Children, when we learned about the calorie, there we have chosen the 1 gram of water, but here whole body, it's very important. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of whole body from 10 degrees Celsius to 11 degrees Celsius, that is what the temperature is raised by 1 degree Celsius. Then this amount only we can call it as a heat capacity or thermal capacity. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of whole body by 1 degree Celsius is called thermal capacity or heat capacity. Children, if Q is the amount of heat absorbed, then delta T is the, let us say T1 is the initial temperature, T2 will be final. Delta T is a raising temperature. Then mathematically, how can we express thermal capacity? Let us see. So thermal capacity C dash is expressed as amount of heat absorbed by raising temperature. Strictly it is 1 degree Celsius only. Then what are the units of thermal capacity? Children, let us see here. First, let us see in a SI units, then we will see in a CGS system. Children, in a SI system, Q is measured. First, let us see. Q is measured in joule, and here delta T is in kelvins. Whereas in a CGS units, the units of Q is calorie. Here delta T is expressed in degree Celsius. Children, from this we can write the SI units of thermal capacity, that is joule per Kelvin, and here it is calorie per degree Celsius. Of course, dear children, here in the place of Kelvin you can add degree Celsius. Why? Because the change in temperature is the same in a Celsius scale and even Kelvin scale also. Children, here the SI unit of thermal capacity is joule per Kelvin, whereas the CGS unit of thermal capacity is calorie per degree Celsius. It's very important. Then how can we expect the questions? How the questions are asked? How the questions are asked based on this? Children, for suppose example, let us take a small question. Thermal capacity, let us say it is given like this. Children, please write down thermal capacity of the material is 100 joule per Kelvin. Here is a statement is given 100 joule per Kelvin. Then what is the meaning of the statement? Material. What is the meaning of the statement? Children, what is the meaning of the statement? Let us see. Here some material is given, it seems. Means here this particular material will absorb 100 joules of heat. 100 joules of heat energy to show the rise in temperature by 1 Kelvin. Children, I repeat once. Let me read the question once again. Thermal capacity of the material is 100 joule. 100 joule. Then what is the meaning? What is the meaning of this statement? It means that the whole body, whole material absorbs 100 joules of heat energy to show the rise in temperature by 1 Kelvin. To show the rise in temperature by 1 Kelvin. Children, this is all about thermal capacity and its units, and this is how actually questions will be asked. Okay, children, fine. Let us move to the next topic. It's a very important. That is what? Specific heat capacity. Very important, children. Specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity. We will represent this letter C. Will represent with the letter C. What is a specific heat capacity? What is a specific heat capacity? Children, already we got this formula. Q is equal to mc delta T. Q is equal to mc delta T. From this, let us write the formula for C. So, C is equal to, can we write like this? Q by m delta T. Children, can we write? Of course, we can write. Children, this is a formula to calculate the specific heat capacity. Calculate the specific heat capacity. Then what is a specific heat capacity? How can we define? How can we define the specific heat capacity? Let us see, dear children. Let us see. For suppose let us consider here unit mass. Consider unit mass. Sir, what is this unit mass? Children, in a CGS system, here it will be 1 gram. Whereas in SA system, unit mass means it is 1 kg. In FPS system, it will be 1 pound. Hope I am very much clear with this. Yes. So, unit mass. This unit mass initially, let us say, it is at 10 degrees Celsius. It is at 10 degrees Celsius. Now, I want to raise the temperature of this unit mass of substance from 10 degrees Celsius to 11 degrees Celsius. 11 degrees Celsius. 11 degrees Celsius. In order to raise the temperature of unit mass of substance, we have to provide heat. We have to provide some amount of heat. Some amount of heat. So, the amount of heat required only here, we can call it as a specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity. Let me make it clear, dear children. The amount of heat means unit mass of a substance will absorb some amount of heat to show the rise in temperature by 1 degree Celsius. That amount of heat required only we can call it as a specific heat capacity. Children, please note down. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius is called specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity. Now let us see the units. What are the units of specific heat capacity? Children, in SI units, first let us discuss SI units. In SI system, Q is measured in joules, mass is measured in kg, and delta T is measured in kelvins. And whereas in a CJ system, Q is measured in calorie, M is measured in grams, whereas delta T is measured in degree Celsius. Now from this data, we can write the SI unit of specific heat capacity. A simple data, it's very simple. So in the place of Q, substitute joule. In the place of M, substitute kg. In the place of delta T, you can substitute K. That's it. Then we will get the SI unit of specific heat capacity. Let us see. So finally, C we got as a joule per kg Kelvin. Joule per kg Kelvin. Whereas the CJ's unit of specific heat capacity, is here calorie per gram degree Celsius. Children, I repeat once again, the SI unit of specific heat capacity is joule per kg Kelvin, whereas the CJ's unit of the specific heat capacity is calorie per gram degree Celsius. Children, then how SI unit of specific heat capacity is related to the CJ's unit of the specific capacity? Children, it's a very important. It's a very important. In examination, they'll ask you the question: 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to how many joules per kg Kelvin? Yes. Let us see once again. Okay. Children, let us see how CJ's unit of specific heat capacity or SI unit is related to CJ's related to SI unit. Children, we know that 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joules. 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joules, whereas 1 gram is equal to 10 power minus 3 kg. 1 gram is equal to 10 power minus. Sir, how 1 gram is equal to 10 power minus 3 kg? Yes, let me tell you. Children, we know that 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. This we can write as a 10 power 3 gram. As 1 kg is equal to 10 power 3 gram, 1 gram is equal to, we can write 1 by 10 power 3 kg. So when this denominator is taken as numerator, it will become 1 gram is equal to 10 power minus 3 kg. This is how actually we got. Okay, fine. And anyhow, the change in temperature in a Celsius scale is equal to the change in temperature in a Kelvin scale. That is 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature equal to 1 Kelvin. Children, here strictly I am talking about change in temperature. Let me write here delta T. Is the same in CJ system, whereas in a SI system. Now let us see. 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to how many joule per kg Kelvin? It's a very simple. It's a very simple. Please let us not by heart. If you by heart the concepts, you don't get a command. It's very, try to understand, try to feel the subject. Fine. 1 calorie is equal to, substitute 4.2 joules. 4.2 joule. In the place of gram, please substitute 10 power minus 3 kg. It is 10 power minus 3 kg. And anyhow, degree Celsius is equal to anyhow Kelvin we can write directly. We can write it is a Kelvin as well, you can write. Children, in denominator 10 power minus 3 is there. Just take to the numerator. It will become 4.2 into 10 power 3 joule per kg Kelvin. So 10 power 3 is what? 1000. 1000 into 4.2 is what? 4200. It is 4200 joule per kg Kelvin. So dear children, 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to 4200 joule per kg Kelvin. I repeat, it's very important. In examination, usually these type of questions will be asked. 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to 4200 joule per kg Kelvin. Dear children, even when we are solving the numericals also, then we need to convert the units from CJs to SI, SI to CJs. There, this relation is a very important. This relation is a very important. Okay, dear children, please copy it. Yeah, fine. So dear children, this is what actually specific heat capacity and its SI units and its CJ units, and how SI units of specific heat capacity are related to the CJS units of specific heat capacity. Children, let us make one question here. Children, please write down a question. Please write down the question. Question is that example question. The specific heat capacity. The specific heat capacity. Yeah. The specific heat capacity of the material is 400 joule per kg Kelvin. 400 joule per kg Kelvin. What is the meaning of the statement? What is the meaning of the statement? I repeat once. The specific heat capacity of the material is 400 joule per kg Kelvin. What is the meaning of the statement? What is the meaning of the statement? Children, here is 1 kg material. 1 kg material will absorb 400 joule of heat to raise the temperature by 1 Kelvin. So simple. What is the meaning of this statement? I repeat once. Please note down. 1 kg of the material absorbs 400 joules of heat energy to show the rise in temperature by 1 Kelvin. To show the rise in temperature by 1 Kelvin. This is what actually very important. This is what actually very important. Okay children, this is what actually today lecture. Today we have learnt the factors which affect the amount of heat absorbed. That is, the amount of heat absorbed or rejected depends on 3 factors, very important. One is nature of the material, and the second one is mass of the substance, the third one is rise in temperature. Then we discussed heat capacity, and it is also called thermal capacity, and then finally we discussed about specific heat capacity.